Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another video, and this video is probably about a week late, but you can thank Troy for that because it took him a week to watch the Vince McMahon documentary. With that being
I had to pay
said,
for my Netflix. I had to pay for my Netflix. Don't put that on me, bro.
yeah, let's not
We
get
broke
into
out here.
let's not get into that.
Carrying on.
Um,
Carrying on.
I think we all have a lot to say about this Vince McMahon documentary, but not what. How do I say this? Going into this, I thought I'd have a lot more to say on certain things. But watching this whole thing, it was basically just a rerun or like a breakdown of different documentaries put into one with a bit of Vince McMahon sprinkled in. Let's be honest. Like,
Mm,
you could take the
mm.
Ruthless Aggression
Yeah.
documentary, the Attitude Era documentary, and just put it in there with a bit of Vince, and there's your documentary. But
Yeah.
that's just what I have to say right now. Troy, what do you have to say about this? You wanted to record this, so I'm gonna let you speak for a little
Yeah,
bit.
man.
KJ can sit
I'm
there
the
and listen to
analyst.
him, and yeah,
I'm the analyst. I'm the analyst.
go for it.
Ah, man. I don't have any much thought into this whole thing, man, because I watched this a week late, so my expectations were high watching this documentary. But since some people warned me not to watch it, but I had no choice. I had no choice but to watch it. What do I think initially? I don't know, man. Vince McMahon, it really Mata in most cases kind of revealed a few things about the guy. First and foremost, the guy arguably just agreed to like not regretting doing the things that he's done over the past years, like of his entire life.
Who would have
Like
thought? Who would have thought
controversy,
this man has no regrets? Who would have thought?
like has I initially thought that Mr. McMahon, the character, has no soul, but no, this motherfucker is the character.
And
Vincent Kennedy McMahon, I, I don't I can't I don't know. I don't know if I'm shocked or not, but ever since that storyline with the whole Stephanie situation,
Oh, we'll get into
yeah,
that.
that kind of yeah, we're gonna get into that real quick. But yeah, it really it opened a few, possible things that we need to know about Vince, but in general, I don't know, man. It's kind of like copy and paste, dog. Like we know these things. They're trying to make him look good at the first couple of minutes. Then we got to get to the nitty gritty of the whole, entire reason why we made the documentary. So, yeah. I can't say much, bro. I can't say much.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who are just, and plus the Hall of Famers themselves and the wrestling observers, they kind of wanted to make Vince look controversially good. If that's even a word term, I don't know.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to make him look good. So it's just I was just so lost, man. This whole thing, man. I was lost. I was lost.
KJ, what was your general thoughts about this doc?
Man, like going into it, like Vince had tweeted out or he said like something like whatever like is being said in this doc, like I don't support it, like something
Yeah.
along
Yeah.
those lines. Like he wants to
Yeah.
distance himself from it.
Mm.
But then like after watching, it's like, what are you distancing yourself from? Because A, we already know all the stuff,
Yep.
and B, it's like and B, it's like you were made to like to look like the misunderstood hero. So what are you
Yeah.
distancing yourself from?
Yeah.
Let's not
It's
forget he
like
tried to buy the documentary.
And that
Let's not
failed.
forget that shit, bro.
Netflix was like,
That
nope,
failed miserably.
this is ours. This is going out whether you like it or not.
our money, boy.
So he kind of made himself look bad in that whole situation, man. But yeah, bro, what can we say, man? What can we say?
He
But
was made to look like a misunderstood hero. Like it's like kind of like Deadpool, Like he's crazy and like we're meant to love him, but it's
I
Vince.
mean,
Yeah.
let's not lie. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, no, Mr. McMahon as a character, bro. Yeah, I call me crazy, but I loved him, dog, as a character. He
You're
was just so
crazy.
brashy.
I will call you
I'm
crazy.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
he had such a broad character. I get it. He said it in a documentary that he was
Broad?
becoming like the reason why he made the character was because of the things that he hated as a kid. So initially, I was like, okay, he made them like from different. Yeah. You're gonna
I
say,
was
bro?
gonna say that is something I wanted more of in this documentary going into it. I wanted to see more about Vince's childhood. Like, how did this man become the way he is. Because your childhood, we all know this affects the man you are when you get older, for good or for worse. And obviously we know his stepfather abused him and between the ages of whatever and 12. That's one thing.
His rich daddy didn't come home with the milk.
Yeah, that is true. He's alluded to, they didn't talk about it in this documentary, but in that Playboy interview that they spoke about in the documentary, they didn't speak about this specific point, but he even alluded to his mother, I don't want to say the actual words because of YouTube, but assaulting him as well in other ways. He just alluded to it. He never said it, and when asked about it, he kind of like stumbled over his words. They didn't talk about that in this documentary, but there was room for looking into things like that. They didn't do any of that, so it's like we didn't really understand how Vince became the person he is, other than his stepdad beat him up, and his real dad didn't really love him. Yeah.
Up until he died a day later, because that was the only time you heard him say "I love you."
Even that I'm not even sure that happened. I think that is something Vince made up.
Psychological shock.
I'm
and
convinced.
remember,
we'll get into that.
And remember,
Yeah.
And remember, like, wasn't it like Tony Atlas, like, who like said like Vince hated his dad or something?
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I'm not so sure about this relationship between him and his dad. There's some weird stuff going on there.
It's really complex, man.
Extremely.
Tony Atlas, biggest snitch in that entire documentary, bro. I kid you not.
We'll get into that shortly. I'm kind of trying to go in a little bit of an order here. We'll get into that real short. Let's something that happened in episode 2 was Jesse Ventura, when he tried to create a union for the wrestlers, and then that got shut down by the Hulkster brother. Look, do you guys think wrestlers will ever get a union? Because I really think they should have a union, because these guys get beat up, they get broken, and then after they turn 45 and can't wrestle anymore, hey, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Back in them times, I would have said like, yeah, like a union is necessary. Yeah. But then, like, now, like in like current day, like WWE, things are so much better now.
You are right.
That like that like it's like there's no real need for like a union. Like, you can just say that something's wrong, and they'll be like, okay, let's see how we can
You're not wrong.
Work around.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite moments from this documentary was Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer was actually good in this documentary. Let me start there. Uncle Dave was actually good in this documentary. Exposing their lies. It was just hilarious. Over and over and over. Like,
you know,
WrestleMania 3 live.
5 stars for Dave Meltzer.
Exactly. Like when everyone is like 92,000 in the Pontiac Silverdome, 93,000, 92,000. Dave Meltzer. It was actually
70,000.
70,000. So funny.
Let's just admit it, dog. We'll never know what that number actually is. Dog.
No, we know it's not 90,000.
It looked packed in there. No lie. It looked packed.
Yeah, no.
It looked packed.
Yeah, no. We know WWE. It wasn't 92,000. Okay,
I could say
let's get on to Tony Atlas in this documentary. Man was out here just exposing everybody's secrets, their deepest, darkest thoughts. Like, but Tony Atlas himself said the words that every wrestler, including himself, used to abuse the hell out of women. Those words came out of his mouth. So he admitted to abusing the hell out of women. That's a wild thing to say.
It's wild. It's wild. He was gonna eat, bro. They probably offered him KFC, bro. Like, you know how black people are with their chicken. You know what I'm saying, though.
No, man. Yeah, man. No, man.
It was probably really, you know what, Tony Atlas, he was just trying to like not stay in the negative dim light, dog. He was just trying to like put himself out there, you know, spread all the dirt that's been going on with the WWE, dog. He wasn't really holding back. Felt like he, you know, I don't know if he had an alibi or whatnot, because he was exposed, bro. Like,
I'll tell you what his alibi was. I'll tell you what his reason for all of this was. His reason for exposing everybody was because, in his words, Pat Patterson grabbed his pecker. That's the reason for this.
What?
I so want to make this about the KFC, bro. I did not need to know that, bro. I mean,
He
I
said it,
know
bro.
that was definitely what was.
And he said there was nothing he could do about it. I don't believe that. You are a bodybuilder shaped man against Pat Patterson, who's not a bodybuilder. If he grabbed your pecker, I'm sorry. You should beat him up for that. Unless you wanted it. Unless you wanted it.
We throwing hands. We throwing hands. That's my job.
At the same time, like, you need to think of the position of power that Patterson had, and like his relationship with Vince. He was like Vince's second in command. If you touch him, like Vince comes for your neck. So it's like just. So it's like just
and plus, it wasn't the golden age of wrestling, bro. Black people in wrestling weren't,
That is true.
They weren't
it was
too
a
favored
different
that much.
time. Yeah, that is true.
It was a different time, so it was quite under,
But yeah,
it's quite a sad situation. Situation.
That was the highlight of episode 2. Tony Atlas's pecker, and then Vince McMahon also said, when referring to the Rita Marie rape allegations that happened in the 90s, or no, it was earlier than the 90s. Anyway, he said these words: "If it were rape, the statute of limitations had ran out." Now, I get what he's trying to say, but those words seem awfully incriminating. Like, you basically saying, look, if I did do it, it doesn't matter anymore. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Like, I don't understand this. Serial killers get convicted over a crime that they've done nearly 60 years ago? So how come he thought to himself
I don't know.
that this... I don't understand, bro. I do not understand Vince.
He looks like he has no words.
It does. Like, bro, I don't know, man. His mindset in that whole ordeal, dog, it was just kind of like, hey, I'm powerful. You can't touch me.
It's arrogance.
In that whole situation.
Exactly that. It's arrogance.
It's arrogance.
Yeah.
It's arrogance, bro. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just...
It's Vince.
It's quite sickening, to be honest, dog. It's quite sickening, man.
Yeah, I agree.
And the poor lady, bro, she was probably she was the first referee, WWE female referee, right?
Yep.
WWE.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. So, in a way, man, it's just really demeaning, dog, to the fact that, this happened to the historic person like her. And now nobody even believed her in that whole situation, man.
That's crazy.
Nobody believed her.
That shows how times have changed, honestly.
That really shows how time have changed, bro. And it's just hey, man. It's just a whole
What's
lot
up,
to take
KJ?
in, man.
Why are you looking into the distance like that?
It's funny
What's going on, KJ?
It's funny how times have changed where people don't believe her then, but if she was to say it now, Vince would be in jail 60 years without a case.
He probably should be, to be honest. He probably should be.
Yeah.
Valid.
Okay, so in episode 3, now we on to the times where WCW started coming up. And Vince was accusing WCW of stealing talent and saying that this is just shady business. Don't you guys find that a little bit hypocritical? Considering
that is
he destroyed
hypocrite behavior, because let's not forget the territory days.
That's what I'm saying.
Let us not forget. No. Let us not forget. AWA, HWA, NWA.
He demolished all those territories.
Bravo!
He demolished them.
This man sniped
everybody.
Sniped everybody.
I know you guys won't maybe know as much about the golden era, but name me a wrestler in the golden era that was a WWF wrestler. That's where he started and that's where he continued. You know what I mean? Like a modern day Randy Orton, or someone from back then. There's nobody. Hulk Hogan was an AWA guy.
There's nobody. I almost said Bret Hart, but he went there actually.
Bret Hart was from Stampede Wrestling, actually. So no.
Yeah.
None of these guys came through. I know times were different then, but all of these guys came from everywhere else.
These niggas weren't loyal. Golly, I'm trying to think of one, but I just can't.
Yeah.
They all jumped. the money was very,
Money
you
was
know what I'm saying?
talking. Money was talking.
The money was talking, Doug. The money was talking,
Then,
bro. And it's kind of like
yeah.
it was kind of like WCW was just a fresh new, aspect, of what wrestling fans wanted in a wrestling company. WWF by then was just, I don't know, man. They were coming up with just bombastic, like trashy ass ideas, Doug. I can't even like name a few, Doug.
There's so many.
You're
There's so many.
Taskmaster,
The
Doug.
new
I don't know if it's
generation
Taskmaster
era was
or something
dark
else.
time.
Doomtrooper, the one that fell through the wall, Doug, and then the head fell off. I
That
don't
was
know if you guys remember
WCW
that.
actually. That was Jim Crockett. That was Jim Crockett Promotions. So yeah.
Okay. There was some fault to WCW, bro. But
yeah, we know Troy's
WCW just,
wrestling history is terrible.
It's
it's fine.
shady.
It's shady.
It's
Yeah.
shady.
So then they went on and spoke about the
WCW.
Montreal screw job, and they basically told us everything we knew already. But I gotta say, I loved Bret in this documentary as well. Bret Hart in this documentary was
unfiltered.
too
He
good.
was not throwing
straight to
he
the
was not
point.
throwing it lightly, bro. He did not regret punching that man, Doug. That straight right hand.
He must
also,
be the luckiest man in the world to be able to punch Vince like that and just get away with
bro,
it.
Without even getting sued, bro.
I have a very hot take. I have a very hot take regarding the Montreal screw job. Like after watching that, get your pitchforks ready, kids, because Bret screwed Bret.
I've been saying this, but anyway,
Bret.
Bret's ego didn't want to lose in Montreal. Simple. We know this.
I was about to.
But at the same time,
bro.
Bret screwed Bret, but at the same time, Vince was so dead set on HBK winning that it didn't help either. Because I guarantee you, if Vince said, okay, let's remove HBK, let's put Undertaker versus Bret, and let Taker go over, that would have happened. Taker would have beat Bret in Montreal.
Here's the thing.
But Bret did not want Shawn Michaels to beat him in Montreal.
Thinking about it. Bret, I mean, like Bret saying like he like doesn't want to lose to Shawn in Canada. It's basically like a saying, like a John Cena doesn't want to lose to like Shinsuke Nakamura in America.
But don't forget this important fact. Don't forget this. Bret had creative control on the way he leaves WWE or WWF. He had creative control. That was in his contract. The last 30
he was
days,
about to leave with the title.
He had creative control. Vince set out this contract, gave it to him, let him sign it. So at the end of the day, Vince made the mistake. Anyway, moving on to episode 4, when they started talking about Steve Austin that was being apparently used or wrongfully used in WCW and ECW and blah blah blah, and that when he came to WWE, he was apparently now Steve Austin and the biggest thing since sliced bread. And they completely forgot to mention the fact that Vince first made him the ringmaster. They just happened to leave that out. Like he apparently went straight from ECW to Austin 316 cutting that promo at night at King of the Ring.
Let us not forget
every great wrestler has his
when Stone Cold Steve Austin was Ted DiBiase's lackey. Okay.
Yep.
He was DiBiase's lackey, boy. He was his water boy. You ain't slick.
They just completely left
my
out.
Goat, dog. My goat, man.
Then we had
every wrestler has dark days, man.
That is true. It's nothing against Steve Austin. It's more like, why did they make it seem like this didn't happen? like it was just magically Steve Austin when he came to WWE.
You gotta refresh it, dog.
Forgetting
WWE's so easy to erase things. You know what I'm saying? Though they're so easy to erase things from history. So they were like, you know what? This shit didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? No, there ain't no such thing as a ringmaster. This man did not suck Ted DiBiase's dick whatsoever. Dog.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. Only Troy.
I'm saying put that in alibi.
What a phrase. Okay.
We had obviously Mike Tyson was then involved in WWF at a time in the 90s in the Attitude Era. And I think the best part about this whole Mike Tyson situation was the Stephanie McMahon clip where they asked her about Mike's allegations. And she was like, but we had him before he went to jail for rape, right? And they're like, nope, it was
No.
afterwards.
Oh.
And she
And
had
you
no
said,
idea what to
oh.
say. Oh,
Oh.
It was a big risk for them to bring Tyson there, man. But
it worked.
for some reason, they
but
made it work out, man.
in hindsight,
If
it's
it
not a
works,
good
it
look.
works.
In hindsight, it's not a
If it
good
works, it
look.
works. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. On a
Then-
professional standpoint, but on a financial standpoint, come on,
Worked.
dog. They earned a lot of money
Worked.
at that WrestleMania.
Then
Let's not lie to ourselves.
we went to another clip. This was hilarious. So we had the clip where Vince was talking about the Attitude Era, and he was saying nobody got killed, and then it cut to a Buried Alive match, and whoever it was absolutely beating on the coffin. Then he said there was no
Netflix.
rape cuts
Sorry,
and no rape, and then it cuts to Vince going, "What, come outside, you rapist?" Yeah. Then it had no guns, and then it cuts to Brian Pillman with a gun. Oh, that was just
Pull a
brilliant
gun on a
editing.
hospital.
Brilliant editing, honestly.
Netflix
good.
wants to shut this man down, bro. They want to shut this man down, bro.
That was honestly.
And I
It's like-
cannot believe these
Yeah.
shit were actually on live television. Like, to be honest with you guys, I know that was a very brass, like very aggressive era thug in wrestling. But to that extent, I don't know. That shit was just not for me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This
Hey,
is
man.
probably why I don't know much about about that age, bro. About that era. I mean,
He
wrestling.
was about to say Golden
I just
Era.
didn't
You
find
caught
that
that,
amusing.
KJ, right?
He
was about to say Golden
I
Era.
almost said it. I almost said golden era, bro, but old golden age. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I just didn't find that amusing, the era. Bro. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But
Well-
yeah, man, Netflix trying to shut the man down.
Well, that's why I think Triple H said something along the lines of, well, what was worse, us doing all these crazy things or the people watching it enjoying all of these crazy things? And I'm there like, he's not wrong
point.
here. Who
He's
is
got a point.
He's not
who is
wrong.
worse? Like, people were
He's got a
enjoying
point.
the hell out of that stuff. So can we criticize them? Probably not. Probably not.
Probably not, man. And plus, they were
point.
influencing the kids, bro. The kids, I don't know, man. I feel like that era of of the children there, bro. I think they were much rougher than this era's kids, bro.
Hey, bro,
Because I'm
if
telling you this,
if
man.
you didn't do a
They could
suck
pull
it
up a
chant at
gun.
school, a little suck it at school, then who were you? Let's be honest. Who were you?
Madness, bro.
Then then we got on to Owen Hart. And one thing, I don't think we'll go into this for too long because we're running out of time here. One thing Vince said was, Vince said he continued the show because the live audience didn't really see what happened. What do you mean by that?
The man fell.
So
I don't know, 10 feet from the air. How did they not see that?
Well, because it was dark, the lights were out, so I understand that. But they saw the man on the mat afterwards when the lights came on. They know what happened, but that doesn't give you the right to just continue the show.
It's like
Sick.
what do you mean the live audience like didn't see it? The man is wearing quite literally the bluest onesie in existence. He's wearing the bluest piece of clothing.
It's just
He's
a silly
laid
excuse.
out in the ring with blood
and
there.
it's
What do
just
you
a
think
silly
happened?
excuse. It's just a stupid excuse to try and get around your arrogance, to try and get around your lack of empathy. That's all it is, if we're being honest.
And
just
you
for
know what's
Vince, just for Vince to like say like if that was him, like he would have wanted the show to like go on.
Yeah,
It's like,
if
fuck
it was
it.
his son, he would continue it. Shane watching that like, if it was me.
madness.
So yeah.
And I feel like the whole sad part of this all was just when Brett said that initially, I think they were trying to like get back at me by murdering my own brother. That really hurt, man. Because
Yeah, I hear that.
guys,
but then
Owen-
Vince did go. I mean, Brett did go later on and say he understands that it was an accident. Let's just put that out there. It's still
because
crazy.
Owen
Yeah.
himself was a yes man, dog. Like he really
let's
wanted
not
to
speak
stay.
on the dead, bro. How do you know he was a yes man?
No, he
Brother.
stayed. He stayed in WWF,
He didn't
right?
get.
And then
Who
his
knows
brother
if he
went
got the offer from WCW that Brett got? He might not have got that.
But
offer.
why would he stay though? I'm still
Money,
like,
bro.
why would he
Family.
stay
You
though?
don't know what his situation was. Money and family, bro. He had kids.
Hey, bro.
Okay. Let me not go too far.
Let's not
R.I.P.
talk on
Owen.
on his situation. But after that we had
Yeah.
the situation with Stephanie bringing up the fact that Vince wanted to impregnate her for a story. Or not, no. That sounds worse. Vince wanted her pregnant for a story, and then he was gonna allegedly be the father. Wild. We're running out of time here, so I'm just gonna let that sit for a moment. What else is there to talk about? Oh, Vince saying that he has two different brains, and when asked what his other brain is thinking, he says something like having a lot of fun, and is often involving sex. So Vince's other brain was
Ding 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 ding
was
ding
on
ding.
it, bro.
That
Vince's
coulda-
other brain was
Ding.
ready. Was ready, bro.
Ding 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 ding.
Ah,
That alone
yeah.
could have sent that man straight to jail, bro.
Then we got
Straight to jail.
Steve Austin
Death row.
denying CTE and absolutely calling it a bunch of rubbish and saying if you've got concussions, you're a bad wrestler. So sorry for you if you've ever been concussed in the ring. Steve Austin says you're trash. Undertaker was apparently psychologically shocked. That's something else. I mean,
I don't want to comment, man, because
Undertaker.
Shocked.
Mean Mark Callis.
Yeah, bunch of rubbish.
Man couldn't remember his name. Dog.
Shane McMahon
Psychological
almost killing himself multiple times just so he can get a hug from his father. Okay, that's another thing.
For the vibes, isn't it?
For the vibes.
Just doing it for the vibe.
I needed
Vince
my
canceling
father.
his Netflix interviews because all the stuff came out.
Delegations.
And then Bruce not knowing why Stephanie McMahon left WWE. Interesting. I'm pretty sure he knows why. And then this is the funniest thing was Bruce saying that he thought the show sucked and it wasn't balanced and it was a gotcha piece that made Vince look shitty. And then Bruce says that Vince is not an asshole, but 2 days later the lawsuit gets filed. 2 days after he said this stuff, the lawsuit gets filed. So that was a gotcha on Bruce Pritchard, if anything. And yeah, that's
Bruce
pretty much
Pritchard, man.
the Vince documentary in 20 odd minutes for you guys, and that's our opinions on it. Any last words? You guys have 20 seconds. Go for it.
Hey, man. All I got to say is, hope Vince is in the same jail as Diddy.
Oh, gosh.
Just my case.
Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for that. Take care. Peace.
You got baby oil?
For the love.
Thanks.